Do you fantasize about getting hit by a city bus?
No.
Really? I've definitely fantasized about like getting hit by a city bus.
Because that's the ghetto lottery?
Yeah, absolutely. You get hit by the city bus. I guess I should dream about winning the lottery, shouldn't I? Damn, my dreams. I crushed them myself. I'm my own worst enemy.
Do you know what the hardest part about dreaming about the lottery is? You have to buy a ticket.
If you don't play, you can't win. That's the thing. It's just walking around, I have a chance of getting hit by a bus.
What an optimistic outlook.
I'm a dreamer, my man. I don't even have milk at the I love milk, but I don't have it at the house. Seems like such a luxury.
Milk?
Milk is a staple.
Milk and bread are the most basic food staples, and eggs.
I don't know. I didn't grow up with milk. We weren't like a milk family.
Which is weird because you're a Christian. I feel like they're total milk people.
So Christians these days, they're about raw milk. You guys know about this?
Yeah.
That's what Christians like now is raw. You know raw milk, Jimmy?
No.
Raw milk is like just what it sounds like. Just straight from the fucking penis of a cow.
Have you ever met Ridge Hirschberger?
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, there's videos of him online where he just like sucks on the udder like right off the fucking cow.
Yeah, it's not illegal.
It's from
You
the
can do
tap.
that still.
I know you can.
All right.
Yeah.
It's not a crime to suck on a cow.
To breastfeed from a cow.
Yeah. You can't fuck the cow, okay? Trust me. You can't fuck the cow.
Yeah, you can make love.
But you can suck on it.
You can suck on it.
You can suck on a cow. You're not allowed to like finger the cow unless it's for medicine. Like if you need to finger the cow because a doctor says, "Hey, JT, you got to finger that cow."
Finger that cow.
You can finger that cow. You can
Finger
fist
that cow now,
cow.
boss.
Yeah.
Finger that cow now.
You can go knee deep in a cow and you're good to go. But if it's not sanctioned by like the government or a doctor, you can't fuck the cow. You can't finger the cow. You can kiss the cow in appropriate areas. But if they see you eating a cow's pussy or eating a cow's ass, all hell's gonna break loose, dude. But sucking on them
gets me so mad.
Yeah, I hate to see someone touching a cow in ways that aren't appropriate in this day and age. Buddy, this ain't 1975, all right? You can't just fuck cows.
All right.
It's not legal.
I know you think you're in the Mission District of San Francisco, okay? But you're not.
Oh, you're trying to create a modern Corinth? Just eating a cow's pussy until she comes? Get the fuck out of my country, buddy.
Out of here.
Go back to wherever they let you eat cows' pussies in the 1970s. Get out of here, man.
With your fast, go-go, sexy lifestyle.
Yeah, those disco sticks. What's a disco stick?
A penis.
You guys ever listen to disco music? I like that Ring My Bell song.
You can ring my
bell. Ring my bell. Ring my ding-a-ling-a-ling. That's a good song. Disco really took this nation by storm. Cocaine took this nation by storm. Disco was just there for the ride.
I was about to say, disco got lucky.
Yeah.
Cocaine took this nation by storm.
Anything with a beat would have taken the country by storm at that point.
Yeah, I've never had raw milk. You've ever had raw milk?
Oh, so yeah, actually, it was a really bad experience. So I was homeschooled. I went to, if you didn't know, you could tell, but I went to another homeschooler's house that was like more Little House on the Prairie than my family. Like straight, they're actually hoarders too, but they had a bunch of...
That's crazy. The homeschool family that makes the homeschool kids go, whoa, they're all fucked up.
They didn't wear shoes. They'd walk around no shoes and stuff. Ugh. It was crazy. No, none of them wore makeup, and all the boys, looked like they were from like a movie in the 50s about like racist kids at a diner. Like slicked their hair back and wore shirts tucked into their jeans like that. And when we were at their house,
their sons carry combs.
Yeah, no, really. That's not only the type of guy they did. They literally had that.
They literally carried combs.
100%. The women were not combing their hair though. The women had like the same amount of hygiene that I have. Like it was just like a rough and tumble type of situation at the homeschool house. And so we go over to their house, and
homesteading house.
They didn't really. They were kind of homestead. Yeah. What's funny is they lived in Sacramento too, so it's like 15 miles from their house was like city, but like they lived right on the outskirts. We were still a little country. Probably not anymore. Probably developed now, but they had goats, and we were helping them out for some reason. I don't know if we were homeschooling at their house that day or whatever, or we were helping them with something. Oh, the mom was a hoarder, and we were clearing out a room for them, and I had to hang out with the kids that day.
Whoa.
So we go over. They have a goat in like a torture machine looking thing, like trapped in wood. The goat did not want to be there, and the goat was like kicking. They're like, "Hey, stand on the side of the goat to milk it." And so I squeezed the tit just once, and they're like, "You don't do it right." And you really have to milk that bitch. That's where it comes from. You really have to like come up, squeeze it, and then shoop it down. I did it one time. I was like, I don't want to touch animals like this anymore. I'm not this type of homeschooler. Like this is not who I am. A completely different vibe of homeschooling for me. And then we go inside, and they're like, "Do you want a cup of milk?" And I was like, "Dude, after what I just saw, I don't know if I'll have milk for the rest of my fucking life. No, thank you." But I had a sip of it, and it was raw goat's milk, and I don't know, it wasn't bad or anything. But my understanding is that the reason that we process milk is because there's a lot of opportunity for bacteria to develop in milk when it's like distributed in mass.
Yeah.
And so like at its core, raw milk isn't necessarily bad, but just distributed in mass, it's too dangerous and doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
But for some reason, homeschoolers and like people that are homeschool adjacent are going fucking loco for raw milk right now. Do you guys know what it is?
Yeah, it's just milk with the blood in it.
No, like what is it? What makes it desirable? I mean, what makes it? What makes the milk straight from the tit so sexy?
It's an interesting concept where like back in like 15 years ago, you were like a liberal if you had organic food. Mm-hmm. You were like a soft pussy if you're like, I just think kale shouldn't have contaminants in it. You know, and it was a conservative. It was like, I love eating chemicals. Yeah, I'm a fucking you fucking pussy. I like getting cancer. And now the idea is that chemicals makes you a soft femboy. So you're like, that's messing up your hormones. So now, like the trad conservative thing to do is like eating clean, no antibiotics, and like the good leftist is like, actually, you know what I love is ConAgra.
I like my Monsanto beans.
Yes, exactly. The leftist take is to be like, oh, actually, I love corporate farming. I love corporate farming that are taking and dismantling family farms and poisoning everyone. I like it. I like eating foods that aren't really foods, where it's wings with a Z.
Okay, I'm a little column A, little column B. I just like what's delicious. Last night, I paid fucking $8. No, $18 for a quarter of a cabbage that was just cut a bunch of different ways at this place called like Loro del Oco or something like that. And I was like, okay, this is right-wing eating. This is fresh from a farm. I'm just paying for some chunk of cabbage. That's right-wing eating right there.
I feel like a proud American.
Yeah. I said, this is some country boy shit. Then on the way home,
Country boy can't survive.
I got In-N-Out in the middle of the night, animal style. And I said, okay, this is the little Mao Zedong in me. You know what I mean? I'm a little Ronald Reagan. I'm a little Mao Zedong. You know what I mean? Eating on both ends of the spectrum.
I've been laughing like Tucker Carlson lately.
Laughing like you got a secret.
He laughs like the Pillsbury Doughboy.
I saw him in the airport.
Yeah, yes.
I sent you a photo.
Yeah.
Some guy already went up and talked to him, and this guy was such a fucking bootlicker. He was like saying, I love that you left Fox News. And Tucker said, well, I got fired. And he goes, yeah. And then I didn't really hear the rest of the conversation, but he was like giving some sort of like encouragement and shaking his hand. And he was just being way in Tucker Carlson's face. And so I was waiting my turn so I can go up just get a photo with him. Because I'm not going to harass a guy in an airport. Like, leave him alone, right? He's just fucking trying to take a plane.
Come on now. He already got harassed by TSA.
Yeah, his fucking CIA handler's right fucking behind him. I'm not going to fucking get involved in a situation. But then I could tell he walked up and left real quick. Because he could tell people were starting to notice it was Tucker Carlson.
Yeah, it's TC.
Yeah. Oh, it's TC. We got TC in the house, baby. We're about to get a line of people. You guys think Tucker Carlson's CIA?
I don't know if he's CIA, but he definitely is adjacent to the CIA.
Yeah.
He is. You think he is?
So I think to kind of talk about the Putin interview like we did on another episode, I think it's like when Putin said to him, like, it's good you didn't join the CIA, you wouldn't have made it, right? I think that was kind of a flex to kind of say, like, I know you are at least somewhat involved in, CIA activities. Why was he in Nicaragua? Why did he write such opinionated articles on Gary Webb being an idiot? You know what I mean? Who in media at that time was writing anti-Gary Webb articles? You know what I mean? And it wasn't the people that necessarily worked for the CIA, but it was people like you said that are CIA adjacent. They either have some sort of fucking handler telling them ideas, or it's more like Alex Jones, where they have no idea the person that's talking to them is some sort of CIA agent, and they think they have some sort of like incredible ear to the fucking ear on the ground, like they're Seymour fucking Hirsch. You know what I mean? But I think Tucker Carlson, if he isn't a CIA agent, he fucking wishes he was. He wishes he was, man.
I mean, this internet's not working. I wanted to look up where he went to college, but that doesn't matter.
It'd be funny if it was Georgetown. If it's Georgetown, I win, right? He's totally a CIA
Georgetown or
agent.
Yale, he's CIA.
No doubt
or
about
Stanford,
it.
if it's any of those three.
Jimmy, you searching it?
Yep.
Oh, dude, we're about to fucking gamble on
Bard
this.
College. Fuck.
Trinity.
Trinity.
Yeah.
I don't really know Trinity.
I don't know either.
Is that even in the States? This is in the Caribbean where you just like get a degree.
Yeah, it's one of those fake colleges.
I have a degree in hospitality from the. I have a doctorate in hospitality from the St. Thomas School of Hospitality. You can call me doctor.
I do laugh at kind of those college degrees where it's like hospitality and hotel management. It's like, how specific? It's like they have just management degrees.
It makes you wonder, right? Where it's like, at what point were you working at like Holiday Inn? You thought I could do this forever. That was me at a coffee shop. I don't think it's no better or no worse as honor in anything you want to do that makes you happy, right?
Right.
But being at enough hotels in my life, I go, brother, you don't want to do this. Brother, I know you don't want to do this. You know what I mean? Brother, you want to run in the field. You want to live in the mud. You want to fucking hunt for your own food. That's your desire. I can see it in your eyes. I can see the primal lust for you.
Not the experience I've had going into hotels and looking at the people who work behind the desk.
You don't see the primal desires in their eyes?
Not at all.
I see the core.
Most of them have like two choices where it's like, fuck. It's either this or I'm back to cooking Sudafed. Like, it's like they're literally like, this is the best option. Mm-hmm. And you look, most hotel workers, most Americans I look at, that's like a fable we have is like, oh yeah, I'm a hunter. Like all these people wear like Browning or like these like deer skull collector stuff on their car. It's like they would hate if they had to hunt their own food. Americans having to hunt their own food?
Sounds horrible.
No. If you said, hey, you have to work behind a desk standing for 40 hours a week behind a hotel or hunt your own food, there's a reason why there's always a guy at a hotel.
People don't even hunt their own foods at the grocery stores anymore. You have someone bring it to you.
Yeah, let me Instacart that. I don't even want to go hunting of the shelves.
I work from home and I have a social room in my apartment, okay? I go in there once a week and play a game of cards with my neighbors. I don't need to leave the house. This is who I am. Everything's delivered to me like I'm some sort of sultan.
You don't understand. I have an OnlyFans girl that I pay to pet my hair and tell me my stand-up comedy is good.
Hey, every comedian just wants to get fucked in the ass and told they're funny while they watch their own comedy.
Fuck my
Pet
my hair.
Every
Tell me
comedian.
I'm funny.
At our core, we all have one desire, and that's to get our asses fucked while we're told we're good at comedy.
Not me, but most of them.
Not me personally. I
Not
just
me
like
personally.
getting on stage.
What I would like would be to be paid $25 in 2 drink tickets.
I want to put in the other order. I want to be praised for my stand-up and then fucked in the ass right afterwards.
as like a reward for being so funny.
You don't like aftercare. I've never. Most people in my life I couldn't imagine ever want to hunt. Truly. You hear about like most people in my life opt into society, even though they know the mores and the sadness of society, but like, and it's okay to say like I don't want this society as it is.
Yeah.
But most people don't want to fucking go out and hunt. And the whole raw milk thing, it's like I understand why you want the raw milk because. Like, do you think that like you trust this big milk company? You look at like Chinese milk companies that were just giving kids white paint and telling them it was milk. That's a real story, by the way. A real story.
Oh my god.
They're painting water white and then giving it to people, being like, "That's milk." Like, oh yeah, the cows taste different this year. I don't know if we've introduced the show. Welcome to the show, guys. This is the Bad News.
Welcome to the Bad News Podcast.
I'm Sam Castillo.
I'm JT Kelley.
And
What's up, Jimmy?
what's up, Jimmy?
What's up, Jimmy?
What's up?
Dude, that was the funniest commercial in the world, right?
Oh, the what's up?
Do you remember that commercial when that hit the scene in like 2003? We were all still fucking high off 9/11, and then Regis Philbin came in saying, "What's up on the phone?"
High off 9/11.
Oh yeah, we were high off 9/11. We fucking mainlined the events of 9/11 into our cultural veins,
high off
dude.
that jet fuel.
High on that jet fuel. Not so hot it'll melt steel beans. Not that hot. We're high off 9/11, man.
I love liberating places, dude.
Yeah, I love liberty.
I fucking love liberty.
My buddy's a Muslim from New Jersey, And after 9/11, he's like just like an 11-year-old, right? Just like an 11-year-old living in New Jersey with a single dad and a sister. And he says that immediately his house got tapped and there were feds outside of his house and his whole neighborhood. And he was like, I didn't really connect it at first. He was like, I just don't know why they hate Muslims for no reason. I was like, yeah, it sucks. That sucks, man. That sucks, dude. That sucks.
God, dude.
But imagine like tapping just like a singles dad's phone. You're a fed just listening to this guy fucking being like, yeah, no, I can't drop my kids off at fencing. Will you take them? Okay, thank you so much. And it's like, yeah, did you guys do fencing?
No.
You guys never done fencing?
Never once.
Oh
Never
my, you guys
once.
haven't lived. I did fencing as a homeschooler. I fenced with foil and epee.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah,
No, you didn't.
absolutely. I fenced as a homeschooler.
You went on guard.
Oh, absolutely. You even can do your own salute in fencing. You don't necessarily. I always had a fun salute. I called mine the tornado. I'd spin mine like that and then put it down. It was so much fun. I knew a guy that went to the Junior Olympics I fenced with.
Saluting. That's
yeah.
That's what they do. That's their little dance
Before
they-
every bout, you salute, and then you on guard, and then when someone touches you, do you know what you say?
What?
Touche. It means good touch in French. I guess
thought-
French invented swords or something. I don't know.
I thought you went, nope, doesn't count. Nope. Ow. Stop.
We had this lady in our church that was like a hella good fencer. I don't know her situation. If she like did it in college or if you can even do that in college. I don't really know.
For sure.
But
There's
there's
some
fencing in
dork ass
college.
school.
That's so tight. Imagine going to school to sword fight. That's like a guy that goes to school for pottery, but then gets rich doing pottery. Like you go to school to sword fight, and then you fucking get to like choreograph Lord of the Rings or something. You know?
Yeah.
I got my degree in fencing from South Ohio State. Incredible.
Does it hurt?
Fling! Fencing? No, because it's like you're just stabbing. Well, so with foil, you can only touch on the end. Like you just have to get poked in order for it to touch. So like it doesn't hurt, and you're wearing like a suit, and you're wearing a
It's
special
really
mask.
a game of tag.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
a game of tag.
Yeah,
Tag
and you
your-
lunge. You everyone lunge. You do little parlay. I don't really remember. I was a little kid. My brother got way into it though. He was a zit-faced little fencing loser, dude. But I bet there's like fencing guys out there that are like fucking hot, and this is like their identity, and they look like a fucking like I imagine like the coolest fencer like rides up on his motorcycle and he looks like a 1950s James Dean or something, and then like pulls out his
No,
foil.
he does not.
Yeah, I doubt that it exists, but that's what I imagine I looked like when I was a little kid fencing. Looking cool as hell, sword fighting in church. We met at church. We did our fencing in the auditorium at church.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is bleak.
Yeah, homeschooling was nuts, man. Homeschooling was nuts because my parents worked, and they would just leave me with the textbooks at home. And so, like, my entire school education was just me looking in the teacher's guide and writing down the answers.
Mom,
my parents
Dad,
being
I
like,
want to be a sword fighter.
man, really fucked
That's
myself
our
out of learning.
JT. That's our JT. He's going to be a sword fighter.
Dream small. I don't think, like, fencing's like badminton, to where it's like, I bet if you really dedicated your life at this age, you could be a pro fencer. There's no way they have the top athletes in that shit.
Yeah, but they also don't. There's no way a pro fencer is making enough money to survive.
There's like fencing schools where like you teach kids how to fence. I'm sure there's like a rich neighborhood where there's like a fencing teacher that just fucking sweeps, dude. 6 figgies ass, teach a bunch of losers how to fence. Not homeschoolers, man. They're not teaching homeschoolers for shit. They're trading raw milk for fencing lessons.
All right. What happened to the first article?
First article.
First article today is it's from the Washington Post. Basically, it's called "Tired of Late Messages from Your Boss." A new bill aims to make it illegal. It's an interesting concept. Right now in California, there's a state bill on the floor where if you have like after office hours, if your employer reaches out to you and it's not an emergency to address work scheduling, like, hey, like they can message you at like 8 o'clock at night and be like, I have a doctor's appointment, so come in an hour late. That's okay. But if they don't say something like that, if it's like giving you tasks after hours, they'll pay $100 per approvable fine. So per message or email, like text, email, DM, they would have to pay $100 fine.
That rules.
It's pretty fucking tight.
Isn't that just how people live in France?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's the question: do you still have to do it? Let's say he's like, I want you to do this $100 worth. So I'll take the fine. You still have to fucking do all the tasks that I just sent you. Because that's how I'm thinking. Like, my dad would for sure be like, yeah, I'll take the fine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When I lived in New York, I had a car, and it was $120 if I left it for street cleaning. Mm-hmm. But putting it into a garage was $220.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm
Yeah,
like,
take
I'm
the fine.
definitely leaving and taking the fine for sure. That's what I think is gonna happen.
Yeah.
Right.
Without a doubt. That or they're just going to find ways to skirt around it, right?
Yeah, or they'll just write longer text messages. You
Yeah.
know, instead of breaking it up, it's now one message.
Someone like
I
me
got mailed a letter.
is going to be on the phones talking to business owners in California, being like, well, I have a software that saves your text messages for only working hours. So you can stack up your text messages and send them off and make sure that they're only going during labor laws. It's going to save you X amount of money. You pay this much for my software. That's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
His boss is just going to be like, yeah, I use fucking legal text now is what it's called. I use legal text now so I don't get into any trouble.
I use Loophole.
Yeah, I use Loophole. I use Loophole. Goes as a notification instead of a text.
It also allows me to sexually harass people, but it's just the right language to where it's up in court. I go,
Yeah.
I said, your eyes are pretty. That's not weird. It's weird. I don't know. I think it's they're proposing it. It's a new law. It's a new right. They're calling the right to disconnect. As you have the right to disconnect after work. Like you just don't have to look at your phone, and you have like some quality of life.
Yeah.
It's like because this is going to be the big issue when we have chips in our head.
Yeah, I don't like that though. I don't like the
right to disconnect.
yeah, fuck you. You know what I mean?
Dude, I love it. The East Coast mentality.
If you don't like this job, don't take it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I fucking work all the time because I like to. But if I didn't want to, I wouldn't. You know what I mean? Get a different fucking job.
I've had jobs where like they say, "Oh, you work 8:30 to 5:30," but then my boss will like call me at 5:25 and expect me to stay after 5:30, and I always say like, "Hey, I'm closing my computer now." And I've had bosses ask me like, "Whoa, hey, what's going on? This comes with the territory. Like, you have to work late." And I'm like, "Oh, then fire me."
Fire me.
Yeah, that's totally fair.
I feel like that's kind of the fair thing. Is like, oh, if you expect me to work late or come in early, you just have to fire me.
You ever been fired?
Not from a sales job.
Exactly. So that's
Yeah.
the thing is these monsters need you, and so they'll go, oh fuck,
Yeah.
all right, oh fuck, he has a backbone.
If I don't make money for your company, I expect to be fired, right? But if I make money for your company and you expect me to stay late, I'll say no. I had a company that I worked for that was always pressuring me to come in on the weekends. And I remember one time in a morning meeting, my boss was trying to give us an inspiration to sell some fucking product to people. And he was like, yeah, and you just tell them there's only 50 Tuesdays left in the year. And I was like, oh, wow, that means there's only 50 Saturdays left in the year that I get to spend with my wife, huh? And, like, I use that every time he'd ask me to come in on the weekend. I'd be like, oh, no, so I got married, and now the weekends are the most important time for me because it's the only time I get to share with my wife. And I guess you just have to ask her. Ask her if I can come in on Saturday. And I would just do that every single time until they stopped asking me.
I love that, dude.
Yeah.
Fire me. I'll get another job. We all can. You know, people say, oh, it's a bad job market. No, there's tons of jobs. They just all pay really badly.
Yeah.
Or they all expect you to stay late or come in early. It's crazy, man. The amount of people that want you to. My grandpa worked in the Depression, right? And he worked at this grocery store, and he would work for free on Saturdays so he could keep his job on after the weekend was over.
Jesus Christ.
And that's like what we're back to now.
Yeah.
We're back to that where bosses expect you to go above and beyond to like be spotted on this culture, and bosses don't admit they want to make money anymore. Bosses don't say, hey, I'm doing this to make profit. Every single boss now says, I have a mission. I have a vision. My goal is my dream is to, we have a hope here. We're an organization that we're this. No, dude, just admit you want to make money. I'll respect you more. Say, hey, I opened a coffee shop because I want to make profits on the margins. I'm hoping to sell you coffee and then one day have someone else make the coffee. So I just make money running a business. Don't be like, well, I believed this community needed a space. And I'm serving that space by being allowing to have free things. Like, shut the fuck up, dude. Admit you want to make money. Go back to the 50s and just admit it. What's the bad thing? Why do you have to play these fucking games?
I thought there wasn't a place for far-right extremist poetry slams. Pelosi, in my mind. Shit, on her desk.
I think like the millennial brain got fucking bought into mission-driven values. And like, I think a lot of more Zoomer people are just like, yeah, fuck that. I don't buy into that. Yeah.
That's what I like when I talk to Zoomers. They're like, it's a fucking job.
100%. My Zoomer wife has no fucking passion for the type of compliance that she's in. You know what I mean? She's no delusion that this is like a dream come true. She's like, I like the situations that it allows. And it's like, fuck yeah. Smart brain.
The situation being the weekend.
Yeah, the weekend. And having
man.
a job that isn't fucking backbreaking and working outside.
No.
Yeah.
Just sweat it. Hey, I'm going to have to work until like the day before I die.
Yeah.
So if it can just be a chiller that job, I'll take it.
Do you fantasize about getting hit by a city bus?
No.
Really? I've definitely fantasized about like getting hit by a city bus.
Because that's the ghetto lottery?
Yeah. Absolutely. You get hit by the city bus. I guess I should dream about winning the lottery, shouldn't I?
Yeah.
Damn, my dreams. I crushed them myself. I'm my own worst
Do you
enemy.
know what the hardest part about dreaming about the lottery is? You have to buy a ticket.
If you don't play, you can't
dream,
win.
yeah.
That's the thing. It's just walking around. I have a chance of getting hit by a bus. You know,
So true.
a cop could accidentally shoot me
optimistic
tomorrow.
outlook.
Yeah, I'm a dreamer, my man. I'm a dreamer. I know a guy that got beat up by police and sued and made a bunch of money. I know a girl that hit she was hit by a bus in California and has like a G Money lifetime settlement, and not even a bad situation. You know what I mean? Like broke a couple bones, that she was fine, bounced back.
Yeah.
That's the dream, man.
But that's the thing. You get hit by a bus. Okay, this girl broke 2 fingers and she's good. She put him in a splint for 4 weeks and she's good.
Yeah.
A lot of people get hit by a bus and die.
Yeah, I don't want that to happen. My dream is to get hit by a bus, but it just like runs over my foot, and then
You don't want to get hit by a bus. You want to get clipped.
clipped by a bus, and then right at that moment, like a fire truck or like an ambulance owned by a private company, like backs into the same foot, and so I get to like quadruple whammy it. You know what I mean?
I'm suing the city, its insurers,
Yeah.
and I'm suing Arcadian Health.
Yeah, I got Arcadian Health, the county, the city, the construction company that made this road, a guy that looked at me wrong. You know,
I'm suing Puma for my shoe brand for not keeping my foot safe.
my retirement plan is just to dress up like one of those black Israelites and walk around and get whooped a few times and be like 12,000, 12,000, 12. That's my retirement plan. That or, city bus
12,000 a
dream.
beating.
Yeah.
You're going to get beat up a lot.
Yeah. Hey. Well, once a month, it's pretty good. Once a month is a pretty good salary. Beat up once a month for a 6-figure salary, yes or no? No? Beat up once a month for a 6-figure salary.
How bad?
Not like you're in the hospital bad,
One
but like
punch in the stomach?
a couple punches in the face, a couple punches in the stomach.
No.
Dude, how do you become a brawler?
You can fight back.
Yeah, I don't want to become a brawler.
Dude, pay my ass 6 figures. I'm in the gym training every day for my monthly ass whooping. Pay me 6 figures, dude. Fucking 9 to 5. I'm training every fucking day at the Muay Thai gym, taking wooden spoons and hitting them on my shins so they get fucking stronger. And then I'm taking them on once a month, 6 figures.
He's doing the Kill Bill. He put himself in a coffin. He's
I need you to aim higher.
Drink a cup of pee once a month for 6 figures, yes or no?
No.
Drink a cup of pee once a month for 6 figures.
who's piss?
You don't get to know. You know it doesn't make you sick, but you don't get to know. Sometimes
disease
it's like
comes from it, huh?
no disease comes from
How
it.
big is the cup?
It is a standard like red Solo cup. To
12
the-
it's 8 ounces.
Fuck.
It's to the brim. Sometimes it is like dark dehydrated yellow. Sometimes it is a sweet hydrated clear. But you got to drink a full piss once a month.
For how much? 300,000?
6 figures. Yeah, $100,000 a year.
No
Yeah,
way.
man, for now.
No way.
Yeah, 100%.
dude.
100%.
Man, dude.
Oh, that's so much
You
piss.
wouldn't drink so much piss. Yeah, we don't like the piss.
Look, we're not relishing in
Yeah,
the piss.
that's not why we're doing this.
It's the opportunities it gives me.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
Dude, okay, listen.
I work in
My
a
li-
kitchen for not $100,000 a year.
But I also feel like, I don't know, that it's such an easy gig Uber, and it's always going to be there for the next 5 years. And then,
I was going to say,
yeah, for the next 5
until
years.
AI.
AI will take it over within the next 5 years.
What are our hopes for the AI Ubers? I hope the AI Ubers, even if they're non-driven by humans, like there's no, like a true.
They won't be driven by humans.
Exactly. The AI Ubers, I hope, still reek of cologne.
Yeah.
Like you go in, you're like, oh my God.
Who wants self-driving cars? Is that a thing people desire?
I've ridden in one before. I didn't enjoy it.
I'm not trying to sound like a fucking communist here, but buses
Power
and
through?
trains, right?
What's that?
Buses and trains, right? Instead of self-driving cars?
I
Like
don't wanna
good
go-
buses
I
and
don't wanna
trains?
be on a bus.
You don't want to be on a bus or a
I
train?
don't like buses.
You don't like
The
buses?
trains-
You'd rather have a self-driving car. Does that seem sustainable for a city the size of like Los Angeles or New York for everyone to do self-driving cars instead of just making the public transportation more robust and safe?
You realistically need a combination of both.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. But I
To
feel
have
like the
only
conversation...
trains and have only AI cars doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, but I think right now I see a lot of push for AI cars and self-driving cars and all these things, and I'm like, if we invested the amount of money that we put just into researching that, into making, public transportation more robust and safe, I think we could get to self-driving cars eventually, but we'd all get what we want out of self-driving cars in like an ideal world. Just because I talk to people about self-driving cars and they're like, oh yeah, we can own nothing and be happy and just be driven everywhere all the time. And I'm like, okay, can't we own nothing and be happy, but like have like a bus so I can do this really high? And
Yeah,
like,
but here's the thing, dude. I mean, you might feel that way. My mom doesn't want to see anyone else.
Yeah.
She wants to be by herself going from the nail salon home.
People want self-driving cars more than I think.
Well, she does. My mom would never take a bus or never get on a subway. She's never seen the subway. Never, no way that'll
Your
happen.
mom lives in New Jersey and has never been on the subway?
Never once.
Never once. That's real.
That rules.
Of course not. Okay.
Yeah, that's so funny.
My mom, she knows all of the McDonald's areas in our house because they have the best Diet Cokes, and she knows
do.
the workers, but she's never been on the subway. Never
love
been in the
that.
store either, just drive through.
I love that your mom knows the workers. I worked at Starbucks for so long, and like I know how fucking peasant brain this is of me, but I love the customers. And I love the people that know you and they want to, like I had this lady named Liz that would bring me mango salsa every now and then.
That's
and
nice.
when I first got my first like crush that I was like seeing and hanging out with, she saw her in Starbucks and was like, "Do you have a crush on that girl?" I was like, "Yeah, we've been hanging out." And she was like, "I'm going to make you guys dinner so you can take her on a picnic." And this is just a chick I made coffee for. I love stuff like that.
That's not peasant brain to have a connection with customers.
No.
Because that's just human.
I love
a
it.
connection with
Humanity.
humans.
But humanity is peasant brain.
Well, I mean, like,
That's so true. To be elite, you are lizard brain.
Yeah.
You could be friends with people like that outside of like, you know, being in a servant's role, serving them coffee and making someone else's
Yeah,
money.
but the fact that she's making you food
I love
shows
her.
that she doesn't see you as a peasant servant.
Yeah.
She sees you as someone who's just making the coffee.
Yeah. That's I feel like most if you like people, that's how you're gonna be at a coffee shop or something like that. I'm a people head, dude. I love chit chatting with all types of people.
You're a chit chatter.
I'm the chit chattiest bitch in Texas, dude. I always say I'm like a mom leaving church. You know what I mean? We just kind of chit chat to everyone on their way out.
Dude,
you know?
you're a chirpy hen.
Yeah, I am. Oh my god, I'm gossipy.
You really are.
I'm a gossipy little
With the
chit chatty guy. Yeah,
Dude, you're a tea
Dude,
sipper.
I fucking kiki. I kiki the hell out of shit, dude.
What is
Oh my
kiki
God.
now?
When you kiki, you know what I mean? Honestly, I always thought it was chit chatting with gay dudes, but I think it's a thing that gay guys took from black women. Is that
Yeah.
right? Yeah. Yeah. Kiki is like a thing that I thought it was a gay person thing, but it's probably like, you know, like everything else in Paris is Burning, where it's like, no, it's just like what cool black people said, so gay people say it now.
And then black women took country music back from gay men.
Nice. Got him. Orville Peck, stand down. It's Beyonce's turn.
Exactly. Exactly.
Don't be a tornado. I don't know the words to any song ever. Something. How does
I
the
don't even
famous
know.
one go?
Orville Peck or Beyonce?
Beyonce. It's like everywhere right
Texas
now.
Hold'em.
Yeah. How's it go?
This ain't Texas.
But I'll hold 'em. This ain't Texas, but I'll hold 'em.
My husband's friends with Diddy.
Man, if you read the Diddy case, you go like, "Fuck, was true and unreal." The stuff that's in the Diddy files is like, "Oh fuck, dude, this is wild."
What's the biggest thing you saw in the Diddy files?
I think probably the craziest accusations are the stuff that he is like raping grown men, like by force, raping grown men by force. Like I think that, like, you know, if you watch any of his old videos, it's pretty clear he's like a weird, creepy pedophile. But like, just the fact that he's like forcing men down and raping them, doesn't that shock you?
Which man?
I can't remember.
There is the accusation that Usher was one of them.
Yeah. There's a bunch of. It's hard to tell what's real anymore, man.
It's hard to tell.
Isn't it fucking hard to tell what's real anymore?
Damn, dude.
How many men did Diddy fuck? I don't know what's real anymore, man.
All I know is that I bought my wife rings from an Uber and they're fake. The fuck?
Guy said he was mission driven just to get women more fake jewelry. What's the other thing that we have besides not letting your boss text you? I don't want my bosses to text me just because they're annoying. They're sending me memes. I wish I could charge them $100 for every fucking meme my boss sent me.
So
Every gif, every giphy.
Every Giphy. So in the state of New York right now, in the Northern District around Buffalo, there is a big trial happening right now based on the mass shooting that happened in a Tops grocery store 2 summers ago. Are you guys familiar with that story?
Yeah.
Okay. So what happened? The backstory is like a young teen was claimed to have been radicalized by finding, you know, really fringe videos that were politically oriented on YouTube, Reddit, Discord, and then he decided to shoot up a grocery store and live stream it on, I believe, his Facebook or Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
And the families of the victims, obviously tragic, we feel sorry for them, tried to sue Reddit and YouTube over feeding that kid these videos that, quote, radicalized him. There's a law, and it's been in place for years, that protect these companies. Because, frankly, if we're being real, companies like Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, YouTube, Reddit, those are non-publishing companies. They're not publishers. They don't publish the content. They're just housing what other people publish. So you can't hold Reddit like liable for what someone posts if it radicalizes them, right? Reddit can take down things that are disgusting and violent and could induce violence, but there's only so many employees and they have to hire contractors and they do their best. I honestly do believe they do their best to like not have terroristic stuff on there. But what's to say? Even if they take stuff that isn't terroristic off, it's still, what is to say what could radicalize someone? And so there's a law called Section 230 of a law that came out in the 90s that protect these companies from having to be liable for when someone goes rogue and violent from seeing something on their website. So these families tried to sue these companies, and the law protects them. So now a way around that is the concept of algorithms. So pre-algorithm, this law, Section 230, came out, protects these companies from being liable for what their users post on their sites. But now, these sites are so big, they're feeding you an algorithm. It's not just like you find an article and you liked it and you find another one. You see a video and then you go find another video. You watch a video and YouTube says, hey, you like this video? We think you'll like this video. And if you see something that is politically minded or you know, possibly radicalizing, YouTube will go, hey, everybody who likes this radicalizing video usually likes this video.
Oh, you like watching videos of jujitsu? Here's videos of men tickling each other. That type of thing.
Yeah, your algorithm.
Oh yeah, my videos is mostly like jujitsu videos and then men tickling. It's not porn. It's tickle giggle contests. So it's just like any other combat sport, except instead of like in jiu-jitsu, you tap out, right?
Right.
In tickling contest, if you giggle or laugh, then that's like tapping out.
That's
Why, you want to play around? Why are you asking me to explain the rules in such detail, Sam?
And so these lawyers for the families are saying the algorithm is a faulty product. It's actually the algorithm is built incorrectly, and so it's feeding people over and over and over more radicalizing content. So we can sue YouTube and we can sue Reddit, not violating Section 230, but for creating faulty algorithms. And the fact that the algorithm is a bad product. And when you make a bad product that harms someone, just like say a car company makes a car where the brakes don't work, you can sue the car company for making a car where the brakes don't work and you get hurt. So now they're saying we've been hurt by a faulty product, bad algorithms. So this judge goes, this is a new angle legally I've never heard of. I'm going to entertain this.
Okay.
So now in New York, these companies like Reddit and YouTube are going to get sued over deathly
I want to make an
algorithms.
argument here. Without a doubt, the algorithm is working. If you're the type of guy that can be radicalized by right-wing content and you're watching something that's on the peripherals of right-wing content and then someone recommends right-wing content to you, that's the algorithm working. That's the algorithm doing what it's designed to do. Like, if I'm watching my jiu-jitsu videos and then I'm pretty quickly in a hole of guys that are buff and strong tickling each other, that's the algorithm working. It's not faulty. Yeah, and I mean, I think anyone can be radicalized, right? Anyone can be radicalized.
Anyone.
Anyone can be radicalized, and I'm speaking of someone I was absolutely radicalized before in my life. It's not a fucking crazy thing to be radicalized. Conditions in life lead a lot of people, dumb, smart people, right, to be radicalized.
I don't entertain this pure person who could never be radicalized in any ideology.
Sure.
There is no perfect mind.
Not at all. Not at all. Anyone, we're all human. Anyone can fall under the same fucking types of traps and like, you know, logical fallacies or whatever that anyone else that got radicalized could fall under. But at the same time, if I'm watching videos of Ben Shapiro dunking on social justice warriors, the algorithm's working if it shows me a Jordan Peterson video talking about, you know, keeping the family traditional. That's the algorithm working. Those are related ideas. So I don't know. I think at its core, that argument's bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I mean, if you're showing me stuff on the peripheral of my interests, that is the algorithm. I'm anti-algorithm for sure. I think we need to turn off the algorithm entirely, right? Do you remember when Instagram first came out and you just saw things in order of them being posted?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not saying that was better or worse, but I'm saying that's like a better version of the internet from my perspective, because I don't want to be fed things by an algorithm. I'd rather just see things in order of the people I'm following, the things I actually want to see. So I'm anti-algorithm for sure, but not this bullshit, it doesn't work. It definitely works. The algorithm is doing exactly what it's designed to do on all of these social apps. All of the content I see on any of them are clearly designed for me. That's the reason I'm on those websites.
So if you were the judge in this case, you would say, I'm not hearing this case, I'm throwing this out.
If I was the judge on this case, I'd be just watching TikTok the entire time, going, like that, watching, just scrolling.
Those nails are good looking.
Yeah.
But wouldn't it, I think the argument is what these companies say their mission statement is and the goal of their algorithms. Because if you look at the mission statement, they're not just saying like, oh, the only goal of the company is to just steal your time, right? They're like, oh, we're going to looking to enrich and engage an audience.
Just dishonest.
Yeah,
That's
but
the most dishonest part.
That's where you get them in there. The fact that they won't be honest about it, that's why they'll lose.
So are tech companies really not saying we designed the algorithm to keep you engaged and feed you the type of entertainment that you want to be engaged with?
I feel like they can't. They're going to say too much of that other bullshit where it's like, oh, we're looking to engage, enrich and engage an audience by helping people proliferate ideas and blah, blah, blah.
Man, I think like also all of these, the reason that these tech companies are allowed to entirely skirt antitrust laws is because they're all just fucking federal. They're all tied directly to the State Department. I think Reddit's a fantastic example of that. When we famously checked to see where all the cities that were engaged with Reddit are in the early 2000s, they all came up with fucking Air Force bases. And it's like, okay, so like Reddit's a giant bot farm for the U.S. Army, right? When Homegirl took over, Ellen Powell, whatever her name is, actually took over Reddit, she was asked about Ghislaine Maxwell being at early Reddit parties, and to defend herself, she said, oh, and everyone knew what Ghislaine Maxwell was doing, so we hated that she was there. And it's like, wait, you allowed a known pedophile and human trafficker to be involved in early Reddit? That was something that you were aware of, and it's just something that you stick up your nose at, being like, oh, I hate that I'm breaking bed with the notorious fucking pedophile right now. Like all of these things.
But that's work, and my boss texts me after hours. Can you believe it? My boss texts me at 9 o'clock at night. Hey, I need a car without license plates. What?
I bring 9-year-olds between 9 to 5, and that's it. Okay, I draw a line.
My boss is Diddy, and he's texting me at 9:30 at night, telling me, "Hey, I need you to come by the studio."
Yeah, for real. The reason that these fucking tech companies are not only allowed to skirt these antitrust laws, but are allowed to openly fucking organize with pedophiles is because they're State Department shit. There's no way that we're allowing tech companies to get so massive, to have so much data, and without the NSA and the CIA having direct backdoors into their software and being able to work directly with these people. Like, that's the only reason that we don't have a bunch of smaller software companies competing in this market share, is because they're allowed to skirt antitrust laws in a lot of creative ways.
Here we go. This is a quote. The shooter, who was white and was 18 at the time of the attack, did not begin his YouTube experience by watching hateful and violent videos, the judge argues. The prosecutor. The lawsuit also claims from the prosecutor, but rather was steered to them. So he did not begin his YouTube experience by watching hateful and violent videos. He was rather steered to them by YouTube's algorithm and autoplay functions. And on Reddit, the site's algorithm helped him find online communities that provided him with the know-how and extremist encouragement he needed to commit the attack at the grocery store, the complaint states. That's the thing, is they're saying that these companies are at fault. And I mourn the deaths of these people, and I mourn the loss of the living family members, surviving members. But I don't, and I'm not, this is a rare scenario. Look, I'm not a standing ever with a company like YouTube or Reddit, but it's not their fault.
If I walk into Book People and I'm looking for a book on political history, and in that same section I get to read On Guerrilla Warfare by Mao Zedong, and in that same section I see Mein Kampf by Adolf Hitler, are the ideas that I then find in those books going to be, stuck upon Book People for allowing those books in their store?
Is Barnes & Noble on the hook for me buying all these books that change the way I look and maybe act radically?
I mean, it's funny because, like, Alex Jones famously is InfoWars, right? Information wars. And it's like, at the end of the day, I don't want to live in a world of information wars to where, like, if I desire to read, an IRA pamphlet on how they made pipe bombs, I'm some sort of sicko. Or if I want to fucking actually read Hitler's Mein Kampf. Have you guys read Mein Kampf?
I have not.
I haven't either. It'd be funny if both of you guys said yes, though. That's what I was wondering. I've met people that have read it. I've met people that have read Mein Kampf because they were curious. Doesn't make them bad people, but I'm like, interesting. Okay, it's weird that you read Mein Kampf.
Dude, a couple months ago, I was doing the open mic at Mothership, and you know Jeffrey Eggleston?
Yeah.
He plays the guitar. He had released an album, and I bought it to support him. But it's the only album on my iTunes. So
Yeah.
sometimes it'll just play if I have like an Apple Watch or on my phone. And I was about to go on stage, and Miles Johnson looked at me, and my watch said I was halfway through the song Mein Kampf. So he just thought I was listening to the audiobook of Mein Kampf. And like my watch was paused. Oh, I gotta do a spot. Hold on real quick. And yeah, it was very embarrassing.
Mein
That's
Kampf,
so funny.
read by Franz Dresser.
Because his song is called Mein Kampf. And I'm like, really, Jeffrey?
Jesus Christ, that's so funny. That's so funny.
I mean, I've never read Mein Kampf, so I'm not going to tell you if it's good or bad. I can't imagine it's very good, right? I imagine it emboldened some people, but Hitler doesn't seem like a genius guy. But I think you should be your right to read it. And it's insane to me that we want to attack companies that are allowing information out there, whether I agree with the information or not. I mean, I actually listened to this on Rising the other day where they were talking about how we used to live. The reason that we have the president has a bully pen is so that he can challenge narratives that are in the media, and that a part of like our First Amendment right is to say things that are against state narrative or against mainstream narrative, right? And we shouldn't be policing people or taking down information because we say, hey, that's bad. You should just go and fucking say, hey, I think this information's wrong and here's why. Yeah. Right? Isn't that a better approach?
Yeah, I think about. Yeah, I mean, with stories like this, it's one of these things where when you have these teen shooters, we're now trying to find out what's causing them to be this way. And when you do that, you want to find who's culpable, who's responsible. That's what a lawyer's job is. A person's mind looks at a tragedy and goes, how did this happen? Mm-hmm. How do we prevent this? And a lawyer's mind goes, who can I get money from because this happened? That's what this is what this reads to me, is like, okay, I'm not interested in how this young man was radicalized. What I'm saying is I found a new way to possibly get money from these companies.
The other thing is these did exist in apparatuses that are, tech, right? These did exist in things like Signal and Reddit and 2chan and 4chan and 8chan. These existed in forums that feds are aware of. Feds are in these forums. Every single time we have one of these shooters, it's always shown that they interacted with a federal agent online. And I'm not saying those federal agents even encourage them to do it, while there's definitely some proof that there have been federal agents egging people on to do these types of actions in the past. All I'm saying is that when you say, how do we prevent this? We already know how to prevent this. We've known it's gonna happen every fucking time. Every single time we have one of these school shootings or these public shootings or these terrorist attacks where someone takes a whole bunch of guns with a bunch of racist memes written on the side, we always know afterwards, wow, federal agents in a chat room talked to this guy in the past couple of years. And I don't know, man. Maybe I don't want to live in a state where if I say something crazy online, feds knock on my door and check me for guns. But maybe if I'm going online saying, hey, I'm going to fucking shoot people and kill people, and that's what I think about, and the feds see it, if they're going to do fucking anything, maybe they should do something about that. Maybe that's fucking something they should worry about. Because every fucking time, these guys, oh yeah, they were known to the FBI. Oh yeah, the FBI was aware of this person. Okay, why is the FBI knocking on people's doors about tweets that they did about fucking Ted Cruz then and not capturing the guys that are killing black people at grocery stores? This is insane. What do feds do all day? Just go on 4chan and make racist memes? They're not hunting anybody bad, man. It's wild. It's wild.
It's one of those things where you really nailed it with like the Barnes and Noble or book people argument. You can't sue a bookstore for someone getting radicalized by the books in it. So why? And a bookstore actually curates what books are on the shelves. Mm-hmm. Reddit and YouTube try their best, but they don't actually decide each video that gets put on. They find a video that violates their policies and then takes it down. The Barnes & Nobles actually orders the copies of Mein Kampf from the publisher. Mm-hmm. That's the difference.
Yeah.
And you look at so if you can say fine, YouTube and Reddit aren't comparable to a bookstore as far as like a place where you can go consume information from. that's selling it to you, right? But then another argument would be like MSNBC, which is a very left-leaning news source, or Fox News, which is a very right-leaning news source. No one's ever tried to hold Fox News or MSNBC accountable because someone went out and was radicalized by their polarizing cable news channels and then acted violently. No one's ever tried to sue those. Why? Because the bookstore and the cable channels are legacy media. These new websites are a different form of media that maybe the powers that be don't have control over completely. And that's why they're challenged and threatened by these news sources. And they go, fuck it. If I can't necessarily control this news source of information yet, I'll cripple it.
Yeah, I mean, I think we live in not just a country, but a world where those in power consistently want to control the narrative to the nth degree.
Of course.
And like, I know that sounds more conspiracy than real, but I feel like most people are at this point in time are pretty on board with the fact that our news is entirely bought out. And even some of the best news, like when The Intercept fired all their reporters recently. I almost cried, man. I was so bummed because those reporters had done such good work, dismantling different mainstream narratives that people were so bought in at. And then what happens is they get a little investment money and all those fucking reporters get weeded out. What happened at New York Times when all the reporters that said, hey man, there are no weapons of mass destruction. That's bullshit. That's State Department propaganda. They said, okay buddy, get a new job, losers. Get a new fucking job, losers. Like when people say like, oh, I can't believe Americans watch, OAN news. It's a fake news source. Dude, it's all fake news source. Everything is fake news now.
Correct.
Now it's just picking your favorite characters and joining along for the ride, man. Like there's no good pure heart news source. And when good news does come out, when you have stuff like the Intercept or fucking what was that really good one for a while? Gray Zone was good initially. They go rotten pretty fucking quickly, or they lose funding, or they lose money, or they get fucking bought out by sickos. Like
I have to disagree.
You think Gray Zone is pure heart still?
No. But there is. You said there's no pure of heart news source, and there is one. It's called the Bad News Podcast.
News Podcast. The only news you can trust. We're the only news not bought by pedophiles. Yet we are open to
never.
Never. Not the pedophiles.
Never.
Now the Chinese. We will work for you. Or who's Russia? We could work for Russia. Are there any other countries that are like trying to get propaganda out there? Let's work for a smaller state.
America.
I would love to work for America. I will go to the White House. I will sit at Biden's feet. I'll sit on his lap. I'll let him rub my shoulders, kiss my cheek like a little beautiful girl to him. I'd do it in a minute. I would also like to get like a B country. Like if Guatemala was like, hey dude, we're sending our secrets agents out and we need to get some sort of news source out there on our side. I'd be like, yeah, we'll work for Guatemala, man. We'll fucking be Guatemalan spies just doing whatever their interests are. What do Guatemalan people love?
Coconuts.
Yeah, pro coconut podcast.
I don't know.
I feel like that's a good way to end it on a
I
somber,
agree.
serious note. Thanks for hanging out, guys. Sometimes we oscillate from heavy to funny. I hope this was a little bit of both. We try to talk about real stories and make them lighthearted in a way that you can consume it and understand what's happening around you from time to time.
We want to sound like if Rush Limbaugh had a bunch of gay friends and they showed up to his apartment to talk about stuff that he likes to talk about.
Honestly, what you're witnessing right now is when Rush gets off the mic, he gets in the car, he types in the group text, all right, bitches, it's wine time.
Let's get our white wine spritzers on.
And they all get there, they turn on Sex in the City, and they goss. And this is what that is. It's that hang where Rush lets his hair down.
Rest in peace, Rush.
Rest in peace. My name is Sam Castillo.
JT Kelley.
And
What's up, Jimmy?
we will see you on the internet next week. Thank you.
See you on the internet.
Peace.